Hello and welcome to the Corner Flag. Arsenal fought back, but City dropped points. So is it time to start calling him Darwin Haaland yet? This is episode 203. Welcome one and all to episode 203 of the Corner Flag. With me is Mukesh Manjunath. Mukesh, how was your weekend?
My weekend was excellent. I saw some fantastic football, both on my TV screen and in the stadium.
Yes. It was great because we were there at the Mumbai East Bengal game, which is the last league game of the Hero ISL, post which Mumbai lifted the ISL League Winners' Shield. Mookie, what time did you enter the stadium?
I entered about when the football became exciting.
Acha. Which was when?
Half an hour into the game starting.
Exactly. So you missed 30 minutes of the first half. You saw 15 minutes of the first half. We were actually, Akash and I had a bet going on about whether you'd miss the first half entirely. Akash said you'd miss the first half entirely. I said you'd miss the game entirely. Turns out we were both wrong, so we should not be betting people. That's the moral of the story. But how can you be late to a football game live in the stadium?
I know we couldn't find parking, and then the popcorn stand had a long line, so was waiting in the line for a really long time.
Okay, what is more important, getting into the stadium to watch the live football, which is why you are there in the first place, or getting fucking popcorn, dude?
But popcorn's damn nice.
Yeah, but you know that those guys come into the stands to sell you shit as well, right? You can get vada pavs and samosas and fucking steamed corn in the stands in the comfort of your seat.
But the tub was damn big. Big tub of popcorn.
No, and in true Mukesh fashion, it's a tongue twister, that one. Mukesh fashion. If you ever start a shop, you should never call it Mukesh Fashions. That'd be tough for customers to get. But in true Mukesh fashion, you told us you were just outside the stadium and you were just entering about 10 minutes into the game. And then it took you 20 minutes to come in. So I think you need to kind of understand. I want to understand what your understanding of time is.
I think I tried that. Believe you're 10 minutes
right
early.
Right.
Put your clock 10 minutes early, and I'm still half an hour late.
Yeah.
If I set my clock 1 hour early, then I'm the only person in India practicing. What is that thing?
Daylight savings.
Daylight savings. I think I need daylight savings in my life.
You need Mookie saving time.
Mookie saving time.
Yes, MST is definitely needed. No, but we were there at the stadium at the Mumbai Football Arena for Mumbai 0, East Bengal 1. Unfortunately, yet another loss for Mumbai. 2 losses on the trot now. But of course, these losses against Bengaluru and East Bengal coming after the league shield was already consolidated. So doesn't really matter. This game against East Bengal was also a bit of a dead rubber because Mumbai had obviously won the league and East Bengal had no chances of getting into the playoff spot. So no team was fighting for anything except pride. So it was unfortunate to see Mumbai lose, and I feel the fault is our friend Arvind Menon's, because this is a game that he came to watch for the first time this season and the team lost.
We jinxed it. Actually, if I'd come early, I think I jinxed it.
If you would have come early, you would have...
Tides would have turned.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's not like Mumbai played badly. Mumbai had a lot of chances on goal. But some great saves by the East Bengal keeper kind of put us out.
He was wearing a great costume, full of pink on pink, which I thought was
What the
fantastic.
fuck do you mean costume? It's a jersey.
Jersey.
Fucking Maganlal dress wala se nahi leke hai, wo goalkeeper hai.
I must have bought a Mukesh fashion.
Yeah, like sir, Halloween party ke liye goalkeeper ke liye jana hai. Goalkeeper costume hai kya? Nobody does that, dude. It's a fucking jersey. What is a costume, dude? Who says costume?
It was a great jersey. And great keeping performance, I thought.
Yeah.
I was actually both keepers.
Yeah. Even the Mumbai keeper Purba Lachanpar made some great saves. I was actually excited to see the coach Des Buckingham hand out debuts to a bunch of the young players. Hardik Bhatt, Halen Nongtu starting in defense. The first starts from Mumbai City FC. Ayush Chikara top. Leading an all-Indian attack for the first time for Mumbai City this season, from the start at least. The first start for him. We've seen him come off the bench a few times in previous games. And another new signing, Gyamar Nikum, also made his debut by coming off the bench in the second half. So lots of exciting prospects there, and they all played really well.
Exciting prospects. I was really impressed with the crowd. I think when Bipin Singh was finished and he substituted around about minute 60, Bipin Singh got a standing ovation. I mean, he had a good game. He didn't score, unfortunately. But he had a good game and the crowd appreciated it. I thought it was a very mature crowd.
Yeah,
I think I've been, of course, the football has been great. I'm impressed with the football, but I've also been very impressed with the crowds that have been turning up at each of these games, because not only are they applauding and remember there are chants for the players, it has been contextualized so that it's Indian. It doesn't feel like it's an Indian audience or imitating Western fans. It does feel like an Indian audience, a Bombay audience, and the players are getting their due, and it's fantastic.
Was there a favorite chant of yours that you heard?
There was a favorite, but I don't think I can repeat it here.
Why?
Because my favorite chant, and I'll tell you why it was my favorite chant, was when the crowd was singing "Shoot Ya Referee."
Yes.
And there were a bunch of kids who had come. I think they were unsupervised.
Yeah.
And all the 5-year-olds were singing "Shoot Ya Referee." That was my absolute favorite moment. And I think I remember being that kid.
Yeah.
I remember being that kid saying something obscene, looking around and being so happy that my family was there. And I was just so happy that there were 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds who were taking part in this activity.
I feel like if I have a kid and if I take my kid to a Mumbai City FC game and people start chanting "Shoot Ya Referee," I will let my kid chant "Shoot Ya Referee." Like in that specific moment, I will share that look with my kid where I'll be like, only for these 90 minutes you're allowed. If you say it after stoppage time, after the final whistle is gone, outside of the stadium, then you're getting a pasting. But for the duration of these 90 minutes while you're in the stadium with me, fucking do whatever you want, say whatever you want, sing whatever you want.
If he doesn't abuse the referee, he gets a pasting.
Yeah, exactly. That's parenting 101, guys. Corner Flag is branching out into topics other than football. But yeah, like my favorite chant was especially because we were playing East Bengal, and Mumbai fans tend to do this every time we play the other teams. Especially our big rivals, we'll always come up with chants that are specific to the place that these other teams come from. So for ATK Mohun Bagan and East Bengal, because they're from Bengal, the chant is "Rasgulla se bhari kaun vada pav," which is just beautiful. It is poetic, It is so poetic. Of course, there's the other one, "Howrah Bridge is falling down," which is again just an absolute classic. And the first chant that I spoke about.
But hit them where it hurts.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the Rasgulla.
No, exactly. It's Rasgulla for the Bengal teams. When Hyderabad FC comes, it's Biryani pe bhari kaun. When Bengaluru comes, Bengaluru comes, it's Dosa pe bhari kaun. Which I now need to ask you. Biryani, yeah, exactly. Biryani for Hyderabad is just about right. But when it comes to Kerala and Bengaluru, does dosa work for both, or is there like
I think
dosa for one and maybe appam for the other?
See, I feel like, I don't know if Bangalore is like if there's some iconic food, or it can't be like IT sector ke bari kaun, Bollywood. That doesn't sound.
I think
right.
the most iconic thing about exactly like craft brewery se bhari kaun, ring road traffic se bhari kaun.
So that's not possible. So I guess you might have to split. Chennai gets dosa. Maybe Idli goes to Bangalore. And what does Kerala get? Dictionary se bhari kaun.
Communism se bhari kaun.
That's good. I think communism, they get that.
Yeah. And after this discussion that I've had with you, I still wonder why you, being a South Indian, take umbrage to the fact that people don't understand the differences and nuances between our states.
Because we're not characterized by one food each city. We are very different. But
Achha, okay, cool. Let's leave it at that. Right, but it was a great atmosphere, at the Mumbai Football Arena. We had about 6,000 people in on the night, and I think we can look forward to seeing a lot more. So, the best place, like I always keep saying, to watch an ISL game, especially a Mumbai City FC game, is at the stadium. So, get down to the stadium, to the Mumbai Football Arena. It's in Andheri West. It's at Andheri Sports Complex. Azad Nagar metro station is right next to it.
Yeah.
So, it is very easy to get to. Case in point, Muki, don't get your car to the stadium. There's no parking around, so you'll have to park like a little far away and then walk in.
So guys,
use the metro.
Tips: come with anybody, because it's a really family-friendly place. It's a women-friendly place from what I've seen.
Yeah.
It's a kid-friendly place, so
Yeah.
you can come with any social group you belong to. You can come if you don't belong to any social group also, if you want entertainment. But just don't come in a car because it's not really car-friendly.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess that's the only tip we have for you.
Use the metro, it's best. While the league season is over, the playoffs are beginning, and on the 7th of March, we'll be playing our first playoff game, the playoff semi-final first leg. The opposition is to be decided yet because 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th will still have to play the quarter-final playoffs before the winner of those is revealed. And the opponent for Mumbai City for the semi-finals is revealed. But the match is going to take place at the Mumbai Football Arena on the 7th of March. So you can get your tickets on dreamsetgo.co or book my show. They're $150, man, if you want to get a seat in the Nissan Cup noodle stand, which is where all the noisy supporters are, which is where all the singing happens. $150, and the most expensive ticket is $450. So again, even that's not like super expensive. So get yourselves down there. It's going to be fun. But yes, let's move on to the Premier League then. Let's begin with Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 4. I think this was the most entertaining game in this past game week. It had a bit of everything. It definitely had a lot of narrative with Unai Emery facing off against Arsenal, Emi Martinez also facing off against Arsenal. So lots to talk about.
Yes, I think with this match, let's start from the back, which is, what do you think of Emi Martinez going up front? What do you think of the last 2 goals, which I think happened as a chunk? I think that was one singular chunk.
Yeah, the last whatever. I mean, it wasn't the last 5-10 minutes even. It was 90 plus 3 and 90 plus 7, right? Yeah. It was all in stoppage time, right at the death. I think it was poetic because we all know what a big shithouse Emi Martinez is. And even before that, while the score was tied at 2-2, Martinez and Aston Villa were wasting a lot of time. I think Martinez also got booked for time wasting, and he still continued to time waste. Obviously, everybody who supports Arsenal was proper pissed off about it. And then to see not just Jorginho take that shot, which was a spectacular hit, but for that shot to go in off of Martinez's head just seemed so poetic.
I know, Amogh, this is why I always feel bad for shithouse keepers, because the goofy moment is always around the corner. You can never escape it as a keeper, right? So when a keeper gets to be so much shithousery, stuff like this becomes doubly embarrassing.
Exactly.
Because nobody would have remembered this despite the narrative if he was just a normal keeper. Like, he was just a regular keeper doing his job. Everybody knows deflections happen, keeper's the hardest job. That's fine. But now, because he's such a shithousery specialist, him doing this made it so much worse, because it was a fantastic shot and there was no luck for him because it hit the post. So you thought, okay, that's fine. And then to have the bad luck where it has to hit your head and go back in, that's terrible. And
that's just terrible. And also just when there's goof-ups that happen that a keeper is involved in, they're always the most spectacular, or they're always the funniest. If an outfield player does a goof-up, then it's not as spectacular unless it's Steven Gerrard slipping to lose the title. But apart from that, it's very rare for an outfield player to catastrophically fuck up in such a way. But whenever a goalkeeper fucks up, it's always funny. The second thing is, like you're saying, like if he wasn't a shithouse keeper, it would have been fine. But this was still just Gangs of Wasseypur Part 1. Part 2 was still there, because that happened about 3 minutes later, when Aston Villa still piled on the attack, got a corner out of it, and this was their absolute last chance to get anything out of the game. To try and force it back to 3-3 and get a point at least. And Martinez decides to come up for it.
And not any keeper can do it unless they belong to Liverpool.
Exactly.
It's never as iconic as Alisson doing, oh yes, this began with the Liverpool comment and now it's come back.
Well done. Good narrative. Good bookending of this narrative.
But yes.
But yeah, I thought there was no reason for Martinez to come up. I thought there was absolutely no reason. One, because like you said, it's not like it works out all the time. One might say, you've got nothing to lose, fair enough. But it just makes no sense. And also, if he's going to come up, his positioning also needs to be a little bit better, right? I thought his positioning was really bad. Either his positioning was bad or the corner was really bad, because it went above everybody. It went straight to an Arsenal player who could head it away. And that break was fantastic because Fabio Vieira takes 2 players on puts in a lovely through ball for Martinelli, who just basically has an empty goal to walk into or run into.
And he celebrated before he scored, which I thought was hilarious again. And that's such a great thing to do, a shithouse keeper.
Yeah.
Because shithousery specialist keeper.
Yeah.
Because, again, I think nothing would have humiliated Martinez more than a guy celebrating before it even went into the goal.
Yeah.
Although I guess it would have been even better if he missed. But I think tactically my issue with Martinez going up ahead is that I think the aim of the keeper going up is actually to not score. It's to take a player away so that the ball can go to players who can score. You can't be the hero, but you can assist the hero in subtle ways.
Correct.
So it's usually better to stay around the big D, because then, you can run faster. Otherwise, you're caught in the middle of many bodies, and if someone blocks you, then you're obviously slowed down by at least 3-4 seconds, which is basically game set match. So I thought tactically it was very stupid of him to be in the center of the action and not be the kind of player who just takes one body away, even if it's an attacker, even if it's a person like Ollie Watkins, who's not Ollie Watkins, sorry, the Martinelli, whoever, just take one player away from his team so that it's clear for people like Ollie Watkins, he's done his job, as opposed to him. But knowing him, he wants to be hero at every end.
Yeah.
Ego comes in between, and now he's just come out of the match looking foolish.
Yeah.
In a match where there's already so much narrative, this just looks too easy and cheap on him.
The only way that this could have felt even better was if the entire Arsenal squad would have done the Golden Glove celebration of Martinez to him. Imagine all 11 players plus the bench just doing that same celebration. That would have just been perfect, and that would have rounded up the game really well for all of us. But unfortunately, that wasn't true. But the thing is, this was a game that was very, very entertaining, and we started from the last stoppage time of it. But overall, I felt this was a very entertaining game because both teams were up for it. And Aston Villa also, right till the very end, did not give up. Like, they were still pushing for that extra goal. They were taking the fight to Arsenal. In fact, Watkins' goal in the 5th minute itself, like they stated their intentions early on. They put their stamp on the game early on, made Arsenal realize that, man, they're going to have to fight for this. If they want to stay on top of the Premier League, they're not going to be able to come to Villa Park and get an easy run out. And they might have done that under Steven Gerrard a few months ago. Another Steven Gerrard dig, because why not? But not under Emery. Emery's, you can see the progress that he's made with that Villa squad.
No, so I think the thing I've liked about Aston Villa's game, right, which is in the early parts of the game, which is the first 15 to 20 minutes, they are capable of scoring. I think in the last couple of games they have done that, but which also means that they're very and highly capable of letting a goal scored on. I think within the first 16 minutes, it was already 1-1.
Correct.
That means they haven't been able to hold on to a lead properly.
Yeah.
Which I think has come down to 2-3 things. In defense, I think they haven't been able to, once the ball is cleared once, they haven't been able to take it on from the defenders. So then that's where Arsenal has generally been attacked. Like, I think Tyrone Mings tried to head it out. It went straight to Saka, and then Saka, the kind of form he's in, is going to finish that. Right? Even with blindsided with his wrong foot, he's going to score that. So I would say probably that's where Emery's team is sort of lacking. Whereas the Gerrard team might have been happy to score one and sit for like 75-80 minutes and then hope in the last 5-10 minutes they get one more break.
Yeah.
And Gerrard would have walked away with a 1-1. I think Emery has brought that ambition that we need to win this too.
Yeah.
Like 3 points is what we aim for, and our worst case is 1 point.
Yeah, correct. And honestly, on the other side, speaking from an Arsenal point of view, I think this is one of those football cliches, right? Like, the championship winning teams are the teams that get the results even when their backs are against the wall. They are the teams that will get the result out, grind the result out, even when they go a goal down in 5 minutes. Even if the game is tied at 2-2, they will find something to get the 3 points right at the very end. And while they have dropped points in games before the Villa game, and they've hit a little bit of a blip in an otherwise almost blemish-free season that they've been having, this does look good. Like, this result against Villa is going to do really, really well for that squad, for that harmony in that squad. It's going to refresh their ambitions of wanting to win the title. So
yeah, I think to me what was more impressive than the comeback within the match was to come back mentally from the drubbing. that the City showed them, because they had, I think Aston Villa had about a week to prepare for this match, and that kind of showed that they had prepared well. And only in the last extra time is when they really clearly lost the plot, when they should have probably settled for a 2-2 or something of that sort. But I think to come back from that sort of a thrashing from, I think, the team that's cheesing you, and to come up with this kind of a clinical performance. And we all know Aston Villa is not a cheap team. It's not a relegation team. Unai Emery is not a small manager.
Yeah.
So I think that is what I'm more impressed by. I think you expect Arsenal to score 3 goals, the kind of form there. You expect them to win the game.
Yeah.
That before the game I told you Arsenal won, you'd be like, okay, that's happening. But I think it's in the context of them losing to City, having much lesser time than Aston Villa to prepare and still make a comeback. I think that's what makes it like an exciting Arsenal team that just makes them the champions.
Absolutely. Can we also have a quick shout out to Mikel Arteta's great impersonation of the referee? I don't know if you saw it. I'm going to show it to you right now. This was again right at the very end when Aston Villa were wasting time and Arsenal got a free kick and they took it really quickly, but the referee pulled it back because apparently the ball was rolling, and which is why he made the rolling ball gesture, which Arteta very funnily sort of reenacted in all his anger.
I know Arteta's getting cocky. He's getting expressive. I like it. Let's see. I hope this stuff doesn't come back to bite him. I mean, this attitude that's changing doesn't come back to bite him.
No, but it's good to see that passion from the manager of your team. You know, I'm sure Arsenal fans are all going to be very, very happy seeing that level of passion.
No, it is a great thing. I definitely think it's a great thing. But I think as Klopp's attitude has come back to bite him sometimes in the form, I hope this doesn't come back to bite him in the form.
I mean, if it does come back to bite him in the ass, then it's great for us because it's content for us. So I hope it comes back to bite him. For now, we'll enjoy it for what it is. And if it comes back to bite him, it's great either way.
We'll again enjoy it for what it is.
Let's go to Newcastle because Newcastle suffered a defeat at the hands of Liverpool.
Wait a minute. Did you say let's go to Newcastle when not only did Liverpool win the match, but you had a Liverpool fan?
Yeah, because it was taking place at St. James's Park.
That doesn't matter.
The correct nomenclature is let's go to Newcastle.
It's about the fields. It's not about the nomenclature.
Yeah, because the results are also Newcastle 0, Liverpool 2, not Liverpool 2's Newcastle 0.
Outrageous.
Is this the hill you want to die on? But yes, let's talk about Liverpool's victory at Newcastle.
Yes.
2-0 to Liverpool. Darwin Núñez on the score sheet. What the fuck?
Yep.
Is this real life or is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide. No escape from reality. Open your eyes. Look up to the skies and see.
I like how you're having a bigger moment.
He's just a poor boy from a poor family, and this has nothing to do from the fact that he's from Uruguay. I'm not making a general comment on the socio-economic status of Uruguay. But yeah, he just killed a man.
I even forgot. But yes, it was excellent to see him score, although it didn't look like he was going to score. Because it looked like he didn't look up. He just smashed the ball and it happened to go in.
But that's the thing. Every time Darwin Núñez gets the ball, you just feel like he's not going to score because that's classical conditioning. No. That's what we've been conditioned to read.
But have you noticed when he's shooting, I don't think he's ever taken a second to look at the goal. He just looks at the ball, smash. And he looks at the
Hulk
goal after
smash.
he's delivered.
Yeah, Hulk smash.
Yeah, he looks at the goal after he's kicked the ball, which I feel like I'll kick it and I'll control it with my mind. I'm like, no.
This is not the goal you're looking
for.
for.
This time, I think somehow luck favored him and I think it went in.
I mean, I don't think it was luck. It was a great lob pass from Trent to find him. I think Darwin's positioning was also perfect. You could hold it against the Newcastle defense for giving him that much space. But I felt overall, Trent's pass, Darwin's positioning, absolutely perfect. Lovely first touch to control the ball, firstly. Yeah. But as soon as he controlled it, I think he just had full power shot
exactly.
in his head.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing else. He didn't take an extra touch, nothing. He just slammed.
Forget touch. He didn't glance. He was just looking at the ball.
Although if you see the replay, he does have a glance. He does look up.
Really?
Yeah. If you see the replay from the closer angle, he does take a glance at the goal. So your theory has been disproved there.
No, my theory has been proved that till now he wasn't looking, and for the first time he looked and he managed to put it in the goal, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, it's as simple as that, right? We could all be coaches. Guys, just look at the goal before you shoot and you'll score.
That's kind of important before you do anything. Know where you're shooting, which Darwin...
Look at the goal that you're supposed to score and don't look at your own goal. But yeah, it was great to see him on the score sheet because he's not been on it frequently enough for a guy who's supposed to be a striker and whose job is to score the goals.
He's definitely not a bargain.
Oh really?
He has definitely not been a bargain.
You're admitting that on this show.
About Darwin Núñez, yes. Virgil van Dijk, I still feel like is a bargain.
Okay, cool. Cody Gakpo getting the second goal as well. He's settling in 2 goals in 2 games for him now.
Yeah, I know. It's nice to see that Liverpool has a bit of a spike in Liverpool's point getting strategy.
Yeah.
Which is to get them, which I thought which is good.
On this episode, Mukesh, we are all Michael Owen.
Well, yeah.
But no, like even for the Gakpo. Is it Gakpo or is it
Gakpo sounds like he's from Tibet. I think.
My name is Cody Gakpo. This is my little brother, Thokpa. No, but even for his goal, the positioning was really good. Salah's pass was really good. It was kind of shades of the Darwin Núñez goal in terms of how it was created. Just that overhead lob pass. Acres of space.
Yeah, and catching defenders off guard a little bit. I thought it was nice. And I think it's nice to see that Salah was making this. Now there was space for Salah to make things happen, which I think has been missing because of many reasons that we've discussed earlier on the podcast. So it's nice to see familiar names and some new names on the score sheet and assists and goals.
Darwin new names.
Nice.
Yes. Let's swiftly move on from that. Nick Pope, man, what the fuck was he thinking with that red card?
That was amazing. That was one of the nicest things I've seen in football for a really long time.
Very few times do you see a brain fart occur live.
Yeah. That was stunning. Television. That was like, because I could see that he wanted to head it. And he's like, I can't do it. He's like, I don't think it's a brain fart. He's like, he made that decision. He's like, I'm doing this. And it's more embarrassing for me if it goes in. Yeah. A red card is the wisest thing that I can do right now. And you saw him make that decision because he tried to head it. He tried to head it and then he just
flailed at it.
And he's just like, his entire, the 2 paths, the multiverse split. He saw into the future and he's like, he chose the less embarrassing one.
But I feel
like Robert Frost. He chose the multiverse less traveled.
No, but honestly, it just felt also like his decision to, because yes, we should agree and we have that it was a decision to handle the ball in that position. It wasn't a brain fart. But I think the decision was also made because I think Nick Pope was thinking, VAR is so shit. I could possibly get away with this. There is a 5% chance that VAR does not give me the red card for handling the ball so obviously outside of the box. Because Lee Mason, who has, and we should quote, since been fired from his job, could be like, but he's a goalkeeper, so he can use his arms. Why are we all fighting about this?
And then after the goalkeeper gave the red card, Salah was still protesting. And I feel like, dude, there has to be a bigger punishment for this. Send off one more player also.
40 hours of community service.
Something else. Like, red card doesn't seem enough, man. So I like that. There's a little bit of indignancy from Salah, and he was like, send off 2 more players, send off something else, make it like a free goal, something. So I thought that was really nice.
We want a penalty, but he's not in the box. But if he handled the ball in the box, we wouldn't even be in this position, dude.
Can we play with 12 players? Something. I feel like this is really wrong. So that was really nice, and I loved just seeing that unfold. That was my favorite moment of
that the game. That was absolutely a great moment, and it's even greater for me as a Man United fan because this means that Nick Pope is now suspended for the Carabao Cup final that Newcastle is playing against Manchester United. The thing is, the second choice goalkeeper at Newcastle, who obviously came on in this game against Liverpool, is Martin Dubravka, who, if you remember, had been on loan at Manchester United earlier on in the season, but then was recalled from that loan by Newcastle United because he wasn't getting enough games at Man United. Unfortunately, the few games that he did get at Man United were Carabao Cup games. So Martin Dubravka is now cup tied and cannot play for Newcastle against Manchester United. The third choice goalkeeper is Carl Darlow, who has been loaned out to a championship team. I think I don't remember which team, but he has definitely been loaned out. Now, what that means is Nick Pope is suspended, Dubravka is cup-tied, Carl Darlow is not there at the club, which means that for the final, it'll be their fourth choice goalkeeper who'll be between the stakes. And that man is Loris Karius, baby!
Yes,
Loris
I'm
Karius
excited.
in goal. You're excited as a Liverpool fan?
Yes.
Do you think that he can actually do Liverpool a solid, actually pull out the performance of a lifetime in this final?
Yes, that's my bet. I think this is his comeback redemption match. I think he's going to be fucking amazing. He's going to be stunning. He's going to make up for it. I'm saying all the stop the presses and the presses that were stopped for Darwin Núñez scoring will start running again because Loris Karius is going to put on the performance of a lifetime. And I'm just excited to see that happen. And this is the first Carabao Cup final that doesn't feature Liverpool, and I will still watch it because I'm rooting for the Loris Karius comeback.
Yeah, there is some Liverpool representation in this game.
Yeah.
But cool. Speaking of goalkeepers, though, we have to also point out that Alisson made some
Man of the match for me.
fantastic saves.
Yes.
Because Newcastle, even after they went a goal down and then 2 goals down and then a player down, like it was just not working for them this time around in this fixture. But they kept going at it. Their attacks were very, very lethal. And you could again point fingers at the Liverpool defense in this game because midfield. But I would still say defense because the defensive lines were not compact enough, I thought, for which led to Callum Wilson and San Maximin and Almiron just getting the better of them and getting into threatening positions. And you needed Alisson to dig yourselves out.
Yeah, first of all, I think Alisson was my man of the match. He was clearly stunning. He made fantastic saves, and he pretty much made fantastic saves look like normal work.
Yeah,
he was great positioning, great pushing of the ball, and great diving, etc. I again feel like it is the defensive lines are off because the midfield is very brittle. They lost the ball cheaply. They kept giving the ball away so many times in very like aggressive in the center, in the middle of the field, which I thought was outrageous. But I think Alisson was definitely man of the match. And it was weird because I think Newcastle got better after their keeper got sent off.
Yeah.
They were better with 10 men. Yeah. So that was a little embarrassing for Liverpool.
I think
could have turned out to be super embarrassing. Actually.
I think that's exactly why Salah was protesting. He's like, guys, no, 10 men is not enough of a punishment. We need more of an advantage. He knows the future, dude. He knows it. He knows what's happening.
He saw the future along with Nick Pope.
Let's quickly go to from one fantastic keeper making great saves to another. David De Gea making some stunning saves in that first half, at least, where United beat Leicester. United beating Leicester 3-0 at Old Trafford. Marcus Rashford with a brace. He is in spectacular form. Do you think he's going to get the Ballon d'Or?
Marcus Rashford?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Do you think he's better than...
Get the Filmfare also.
Yeah. Do you think he's better than Kylian Mbappe?
I think he is better than Kylian Mbappe and Haaland combined.
I mean, we'll get to Haaland in a bit because what the fuck was that miss? But do you think Marcus Rashford is the best forward in Europe right now? And give me a non-sarcastic answer this time. You've had 2 sarcastic ones. I've given you that.
I don't even think he's the best forward in the league.
What?
Yeah, I do. Fun. I think Saka is generally much better. I think Rashford.
Saka?
I mean, okay, but I think he's having a good run of form, but okay, already he's the best. If we're comparing him to the greats, like
he can do. He can score with left foot, right foot, header. He's got tremendous pace. He can take on defenders and beat them, not just try to take them on and then lose the ball. He can score, he can assist, he can do literally fucking everything.
Amogh.
What more do you need? What does Saka have that Marcus Rashford does not have?
Top of the table.
Arey, wo to hai yaar, theek hai. But that's a team thing.
Correct.
I'm talking about individually.
Amogh, I feel like Firmino could do all of these things, and we never said Firmino is the best player in all of Europe.
Yeah, that's because you guys keep calling him Bobby.
He's not even the best Bobby, man. Bobby Charlton's better or some nonsense you'll say.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I've actually heard like I went to play football at St. Andrews that time a couple of days ago, and a couple of the players after the game who were Liverpool fans were very animatedly talking about what the season is looking like for Liverpool, etc., etc. And they were like, Yeah, and and we've always had I feel like Mane leaving was a big problem, and Salah hasn't lived up to the mark, and even Bobby's not doing well. He's such a good player. I was like, bencho Bobby ऐसे बोल रहा है जैसे तेरा पड़ोसी है. क्या है ये Bobby? Fucking call him by his full name.
Call him what? Robert Firmino?
Yeah, call him Firmino at least. I mean, call him what the commentators call him. No, commentators don't be like, the ball goes to Bobby. Bobby has scored. They said Firmino scored. No. Like, you say Mane, you say Salah because that's what the commentators call it. So that's fine.
But if I call him Mohammed, there'll be like some 1,000 players.
Exactly.
So
yeah, exactly. You call somebody Mohammed, like 20,000 people will look at you and say, kya?
Yeah.
But, what the fuck is Bobby, dude? Like, I don't get it.
I think Bobby is fantastic. He's a guy. I think but he has that vibe in the Liverpool team of he's like our friend.
He's
Like,
your friend.
He looks like that.
He looks like your friend.
He's friend. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, friend. I thought like Fred, like Brazilian midfielder for Man United, Fred.
No. Are you saying I was being racist towards Brazilians?
No, I'm just
saying.
saying.
Which is a weird new category to invent in an Indian context.
Yeah.
These Brazilians are lame, man.
Right. On that note, let's take a quick break. On the other side, we will talk about those Haaland misses in Manchester City's surprise draw to Nottingham Forest. We'll talk about James Ward-Prowse's free kick against Chelsea. And we'll answer your questions. See you on the other side. Welcome back to the Corner Flag, everybody. And as always, we begin the second half with some questions. Questions with the Corner Flag.
Dude, answers also, huh?
Okay, first question is by PRSMUFC. Just going by my last discussion with you. How many Mbappes does it take to make one Marcus Rashford?
How many?
I feel like 3.
Oh wait, I thought it was a setup to a joke.
No.
I
feel like it is a setup to a joke, except that PRSMUFC is looking at us for the punchline.
Oh, okay. Maybe 0.25.
0.25, is it?
Yeah.
That's a very specific number. Why?
Yeah. I think about 4 of Rashfords can make one Mbappe.
And what is the reason for that?
I think the reason is that whatever Rashford can do, Mbappe can do 4 times as well.
I don't think so. I feel like both of them have a lot of pace, but if you put them in a race against each other, Rashford might just win it.
Correct. Football is about how fast you can run from one place to
we'll
the
get
other
to
place.
the other. No, I think in terms of finishing, Mbappe might be slightly ahead.
Just, about 2-3 times, but slightly. That's not too much. That's not much at all, man.
I'm going to move on to the next question because I don't like this Rashford slander that's happening. Christian_25 says, should Man United sign Marcel Sabitzer on a permanent deal? And thoughts on Weghorst's lack of goals? Do you want me to take this? Do you want to take this?
Please, take this.
I think if Sabitzer is available for a permanent deal at a cut price solution, maybe about 25, nothing upwards of 25 is worth it. If he's available up to 25 million, I think he's a good backup option to have.
So 25 million for a backup player is a bargain, you're saying?
In today's market, yes.
got it.
Players are going for fucking 100 million and all, yeah?
Yeah, of course. It's a bargain, not 25 million. I agree with you.
25 million is a bargain. For Marcel Sabitzer, 25 million is a
For
bargain.
a backup player.
As opposed to 75 fucking million for Virgil van Dijk.
25 million you can easily throw on a backup player. 75 million for a Champions League winning, title winning defender who's the best in the world. That's not a bargin.
But he wasn't title winning or Champions League winning when he was he was bought for 75 million.
But we knew that. The coaches and clubs, but they knew that, they predicted that, but that's not a bargain. Are you mad or what?
Okay, let's run a poll. We'll ask our listeners, you guys, you tell us, you think 25 million for Sabitzer is a bargain or not? You let us know. Part 2 of Krish's question was thoughts on Wout Weghorst's lack of goals. I feel like it's okay because Rashford scoring, Sancho scoring, Bruno scoring, so there's enough scorers in there. I feel like anyway Weghorst is a backup option to Martial because Martial is always injured, and when he's not injured, he's Martial. It's fine. He's doing a lot of other work apart from scoring goals, so I'm okay with it.
Also, he had his greatest moment in the World Cup. I think he can coast off it for a couple of more months.
Exactly.
I think it's fine. I think he's done.
Exactly.
Let him go.
Basically, what we're trying to say is a striker who's been signed to score goals, he's not really doing it, is absolutely fine.
It's fine.
At least he's not Darwin Núñez.
I was just going to do it as
Right. Next up is Akash Goswami. Akash Goswami.7. Akash Goswami says, just your reviews on Sancho and how Erik ten Hag treated and developed him. I love this bald bastard. I mean, that's Akash saying that. That's not me saying it. Although I too love this bald bastard. But you wanna take this one?
Yes, I think Sancho being transformational is proof that I think any player who comes from Dortmund, and I think there will be a lot more of such players coming into other bigger leagues. I think they need a system to play in. You can't shove them in teams which are run by superstars and saying you figure out the system on the pitch.
Yeah.
I think whether it's Sancho, whether Haaland, will come to that later, or whether it's even Bellingham in the future, they all need concrete systems to play in, and then they can adapt to those systems, and then you can evaluate them. I think maybe last year people were too keen and too early to criticize a player like Sancho, because not only is he coming in with the expectations of being, I think, one of the highest paid players, young players, blah blah blah, all of that pressure, but also being thrown into a team that has no system to play in. He's not a trickster. I think he's a guy who can execute plans really well, and I think now all Erik ten Hag's done, I mean not all, but I think the big change that he's done is give him a plan that here's plan A, here's plan B, here's plan C, and Sancho's shining, which I think is great.
Yeah, and apart from that, also I think the way he has dealt with Sancho's recent sort of sabbatical that he took, because about 3 months Sancho was out and he was training by himself away from the squad because he wasn't physically and mentally up for it, which is something that Sancho himself kind of brought to Ten Hag and said, man, I need to take some time off, which again is I think fantastic, because we kind of tend to forget how much pressure even elite level footballers can go through. It's only normal for players in that position to react not greatly to that level of pressure. So I feel like sending him away for 3 months, getting his physical and mental conditioning done, not rushing him back into the action even after he came back, letting him train, letting him get up to speed, then slowly kind of integrating him back into the team has been fantastic. You can see Sancho's looking happier, he's looking fitter, he's looking more sharp. And I think overall Ten Hag's handled this really well, much like everything else that Ten Hag has handled with this Man United squad.
And he's just looking happy. I think that's so important, right? You can always tell when a player is, you can just not just in the way they play the game, but also in the way they celebrate with their teammates, the eagerness, the extra inch, extra meter they're willing to run. I think is what the biggest difference I can see in Sancho, is that he just seems so much happier.
Absolutely. Next up is RBNR. He says, it seems Loris Karius might be in goal for Newcastle United in the Carabao Cup final. Can he do it for Liverpool this time?
Yes, I'm going to predict. My prediction is that Karius is going to give a performance of a lifetime in the good sense.
Yeah. Best actor in a comedic role is also there, man. Like, if you're talking about Filmfare Awards.
His redemption.
All right. Next up is Noob Clicks. He says, everyone's invincible until they face Bengaluru FC at the Fortress. We are coming for that trophy. I mean, Arsenal were invincible and they didn't face Bengaluru FC
that's
at the
why
Fortress.
They were invincible.
That's why they were invincible. Bengaluru played really well in that game.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the invincible season has eluded Mumbai City FC this season. But
what a problem to have.
Very, very big problem to have. But it's still early to say that they're coming for the trophy next season. I feel like Mumbai still has the strongest squad in the league for next season. So we'll see how it goes. Playoffs are there first, so we'll see what happens in the playoffs first. We might even face Bengaluru in the playoffs, so who knows. In which case, Noob Clicks, it'll be a grudge match with you. So we'll see. Final question is by Shrew_8. I feel like this is the first time Shrew_8 has written into us. I can see that her name is Shrushti on her Instagram profile, which is great. Shrushti, thanks for writing in. If you have actually written in for the first time, unless you've written in before and we've just like royally ignored you all these episodes. in which case we apologize. But Shrew_8 has asked, is Everton still relegation contenders?
That's actually a great question.
If Akash was here, he'd say yes.
Yes, but let's be realistic though, because Akash is trying to fight off evil spirits and jinx.
Yeah.
He's not just a football fan; he's a shaman.
Yeah.
he's the official shaman of Everton.
Yeah.
While he's at it, I think it's a good bet to say that Everton are not relegation contenders. I think with the
Really? Not anymore, you think?
not anymore with the arrival of Sean Dyche, with the kind of points they're picking up, because.
I mean,
that's actually a great question. I'm actually quite stumped.
no. So okay. So let's attack it, because anyway, that's the last question. So we can segue from here very nicely into Everton 1 Leeds 0.
Yes.
Because since Sean Dyche has taken charge, Everton have had an uptick in form. They've got 2 wins and 1 loss in Dyche's first 3 games. Of course, the win was against Arsenal, which was a big win.
Yeah.
The loss was in the Merseyside derby, which again
It's an expected loss.
It's an expected loss. It's not. I mean, considering you got an unexpected 3 points against Arsenal, it's probably okay to get back to regular programming and lose 3 points against Liverpool. Nobody's going to hold that against you. But this third game, and especially because it came against Leeds, who are also in a relegation battle, it was very important that Everton came out with those 3 points in this fixture, which they did. 1-0 victory, very tight, very Sean Dyche-like.
Yes.
As it stands, Everton now have played 23, which is exactly the number of games that Bournemouth, West Ham, Leeds and Southampton, who are the teams under them, have played. So there's no games in hands anymore. But they are 16. So they are out of the relegation zone as it stands. They are on 16th place with 21 points. Bournemouth are in 17th with 21 points as well, but Everton are up because of a better goal difference, which is a goal difference of minus 13, which is still better than Bournemouth, which is at minus 23. But in 18th place is West Ham with 20 points, Leeds in 19th with 19 points, and Southampton bottom of the table with 18 points. So it's still very, very close.
But you do expect that Everton under Dyche, say probably can get to 32. Sean Dyche can get 32, 33 points.
I feel like they can.
Even if it's 10 draws, because say what you want about Ginzer Guardiola, he knows how to get a draw.
Yeah.
Right? And you know, as a manager, if there's one manager, right, I'm including all 20 managers, not just the ones threatened by relegation, who you can give any of them 17 games.
Yeah.
And forget winning or losing. If you can bet on any of them to get 17 draws consecutively, there is only one person you trust with that job. And
Absolutely.
with any team, whether it's Man City, whether it's Everton, whether it's Accrington, just to get 17 consecutive draws, there is only one person.
Yeah.
And going by that bet, going by that logic, I think if they were to get even 10 of those draws and get 10 extra points, I think you would bet that Everton are no longer relegation contenders, which doesn't mean that makes Everton any better. It just makes something that was depressing.
Yeah.
Just
slightly less depressing.
Less depressing.
No, but so the thing is, getting the 1-0 victory against Leeds was very, very important because they were going up against a fellow relegation rival. So very important. But if you just look at the next games that Everton have, it's not looking great because their next game is against Aston Villa at Goodison. And we've seen how Unai Emery's team plays. You know, they gave Arsenal a fight. I don't think Everton have it in them to hold Aston Villa off. I would be very, very surprised if they came off with even a point in that game.
I was just going to say, I think they might concede early. Everton might concede early. But I think they could eke out a draw because it's Goodison Park, because of the vibe, because of just the way their approach has changed in the past couple of games, and coming off of this momentum of winning a game against Leeds and it's Seamus Coleman scoring, I do think they might get a point out. And Emery's team, as we saw today, can crumble under a certain kind of pressure.
Yeah.
I'm not comparing Arsenal to Everton at all. I think clearly there's only one team miles ahead, and that's Everton. No, but yeah, I think there's Sean Dyche he would have noticed that they crumble under a certain type of pressure, especially in the last 10-15 minutes. And so I think he's smart. He has game knowledge enough to apply pressure then and hold back, even if they concede a goal early on. So I think they can score. It doesn't seem as scary.
After Aston Villa, they've got Arsenal away, Nottingham Forest away, and Brentford at home.
In fact,
then
barring-
Chelsea away.
Yes,
That's
barring-
their march.
In fact, I would say barring Arsenal, I think all of those teams are teams against which they can get points. I'm not saying they'll win. But
Forest, they can get points against Brentford again because they're at home. Maybe Chelsea away, definitely. So, yeah, I see your point now. I see your point. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, and I hope that we've covered the Everton Leeds game well enough, because what a fucking goal by Seamus Coleman! Like that goal was great.
Amogh, come on.
It was a typical right back goal.
It was a fluke goal.
It
if that's what
wasn't
you
a
mean
fluke
by-
goal. It wasn't a fluke goal. I think he's. I firstly thought Melier's positioning was horrible. It was horrible.
It was.
Because he's preemptively expecting a cross.
Yeah, I think.
But in my head, I'm like, you're actually a good goalkeeper. You're very tall, so it's not like you're going to find it hard to reach balls if you stay in the position you're supposed to stay in. So there's no reason for him to preemptively go for the cross. But I think it's just cockiness. It's like, hey, tu to Seamus Coleman hai, tu kidhar goal marega?
Yeah, I think there are two things, right? I think one was he wanted to hurry the pace up. So he's like, okay, I'll collect it, I'll roll it, I'll save 2 seconds. And then he was like, wait, what happened? It was amazing because you could clearly see it's a young keeper being very eager to collect the ball, get the game rolling, and because they need to win, right? They're the team that would expect them to win.
Yeah.
So it was great, and I think Seamus Coleman, that's a complete fluke. Can you all just call it that, please? It was a fluke.
I don't think Seamus Coleman is calling it a fluke. I don't think any Everton fan is calling it a fluke. But considering there's no Everton fans here today, it was a fucking fluke. Let's talk about Nottingham Forest 1, Man City 1. Bernardo Silva's great goal kept City 1-0 up for a very, very long time, till I think the 88th minute, when Chris Wood, formerly of Burnley and Newcastle United, a living legend in terms of questions like what the fuck is he doing in the Premier League, coming with a lovely tap in goal.
Yeah, and every time City drops points, I'm like, why this season? Lord, do you not have mercy on me?
No, he doesn't.
Do you not have mercy on Merseyside?
No, he doesn't.
But yeah, Amogh, you talk because I'm just a little depressed about this one.
Okay, do you think
that's exactly my response.
It was great that Nottingham Forest got the point. It was great that Man City dropped the points. Erling Haaland, though, that double miss. Phil Foden's shot should have been dealt with better by a goalkeeper of Keylor Navas's credibility. Yes. It was piss poor that a shot that was straight at him, he couldn't collect properly. It lands at Haaland's feet just outside the 6-yard box, and Erling Haaland in that position against Nottingham Forest, you expect it to go in.
Yeah, I mean, you expect him, like, that shot goes in against, say, Real Madrid in the Champions League final. Like, you expect that from Erling Haaland, let alone against Nottingham Forest.
You think? Okay,
do you think one body swap happens? No,
Darwin Núñez. No, I have. Yeah, I mean, maybe we could start calling him, like I said at the intro for this show, we could call him Darwin Haaland. But I feel like, I mean, it's not like the first one he missed, and then he hit the post, I think, from close range, and the second one he skied it. So from the similar position. So it was like 2 terrible misses in quick succession. I feel the comparison that I'd like to make here is, and I know you don't drive, so this analogy might be a little lost on you, but bear with me. You know how they say that driving on a highway is the toughest thing, even though it's like open roads and you can drive fast and there's like no traffic.
Yeah.
It's really tough, or it's really challenging because there's no traffic. Because there's no challenge, your mind tends to kind of switch off, and you tend to drift off, and you tend to swerve, and you're already going at a high speed, and you're trying to crash. Whereas if you're in the city, if you're driving in the city, because there's traffic, because there's pedestrians jumping in front of your car from every fucking direction because it's Bombay, you're constantly alert, and you're always, focused, and you're about to like hit the brakes or hit the accelerator depending on what you need to do. Brakes if you need to stop your car from hitting another car, accelerator if there's a pedestrian and you want to kill him. So driving in the city is way more challenging, which is exactly what's happened with Haaland. Because it was Nottingham Forest, he just lost focus. But like you said, if it was Real Madrid in the Champions League, he'd be like, yeah, fuck it, I'm scoring from here, I'm scoring from the half line, I'll goal keep, I'll take a goal kick, that will be a goal. I'll go into the commentary box. I'll say I'm going to score a goal and a goal will go and they'll put my name. I'm a fucking magician in those games. But against Nottingham Forest away,
someone else will score.
This is beneath my pay grade. I think that's what has happened.
Yes, but why does it have to happen this season? I think I'm just going to keep doing this.
Stop getting the Liverpool fucking narrative into everything. It is not what we are here for. And for that, we will move swiftly on to the last game that we're going to discuss in this episode. Graham Potter's Chelsea at home to 20th place, bottom place Southampton, managerless Southampton. You'd think that they'd get 3 points.
Yes, I would
with
think.
Mikhailo Mudryk, with Joao Felix, with Enzo Fernandez, with the
Raheem
20,000 other players that they've signed.
Raheem Sterling, who's probably who's played Saudi. He's a Premier League veteran at this point, right? Compared to a lot of other Chelsea
Basically,
players.
Buddha.
Yeah, compared to even Graham Potter, right?
Yeah.
He's probably a veteran. He's played these sort of teams. He's probably played this Southampton team 3 times with 3 different teams.
Yeah.
You'd think they'd walk away with 3 points, and they didn't. And
Southampton defended so well. So
defended-
many goal line clearances. So good.
I know, and it's Southampton's one of those teams you want them to do well. You want them to. And I've always maintained that James Ward-Prowse is, he will always, for the last couple of years, he's always made it into my dream team almost, I think. Because he's the sort of player who will give you great goals, plays 38 fucking games, fit as fuck. You want him, and I just love it when he scores because he's that sort of player.
Dude, again, direct free kick. He's possibly the best free kick taker in the Premier League.
And he's a
Without a
master
doubt.
from that particular angle as well. You give him a free kick in that angle and you expect him to score. And there hasn't been that exciting a free kick taker from a certain position since while I think maybe
Since David Beckham?
Ronaldo. That was a brief phase where Ronaldo at United where you thought he was going to score everything.
Yeah, but that was a very brief phase. I know a lot has been said about Cristiano Ronaldo's free kicks, but let's be honest, he scored some stunners, like especially that goal against Portsmouth, if you remember that one.
Of course.
Or against Arsenal in the Champions League. But more often than not, Ronaldo hit the wall.
Yeah, for
sure. It wasn't great. The knuckleball technique that he came up with has, I feel, been perfected by Rashford. Because Rashford has a better hit rate from those free kicks than Ronaldo's ever had. I could be wrong with terms of the stats, but that's just what I feel. So fuck you guys for thinking otherwise. Stats have no place on the corner flag. But I feel like
we 100% hate statistics.
Yes. And we can say it because Akash isn't here. No, but I feel like David Beckham has been the Premier League's most successful direct free kick taker. I feel like Ward-Prowse is 1 free kick away from matching David Beckham's record. I think 18 is Beckham and 17 now with this free kick is Ward-Prowse. So it's stupid for anyone to give free kicks away against Southampton in that area. If I was the coach of a team facing Southampton and Ward-Prowse was playing for Southampton, I'd be like, whatever happens, you do not give away silly fouls in that area. You just don't.
You don't. And Ward-Prowse is there to get them. But you also expect them, if they concede 1 goal against this Southampton and that Chelsea side, you expect them to score 3-1. I think before the game, if I told you Chelsea won 3-1, you'd be like, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Even if I told you Ward-Prowse scored a stunning free kick, you'd be like, that still sounds about right. But I think it was very poor from all of them. I actually feel really bad for someone like Raheem Sterling.
I feel bad for Graham Potter.
I feel bad for Graham Potter but I also feel like it was, I don't know. I guess you can't say no to such a job, but he sort of set himself up because everybody sort of knew he wasn't ready for this job.
Yeah.
Because Chelsea is not.
I feel under Todd Bowley, when Todd Bowley came in, I felt like getting a manager like Graham Potter would have been great. Like it sounded perfect because we've seen Chelsea in the Abramovich era where they were just fast and loose with their managers. It was just straight up buy the best players, no matter what money. Just get the fucking stars.
The Real Madrid model.
Get the fucking stars. Get a hardcore manager. And if they don't do well enough, in a season, maybe 2, sack them.
Refresh, yeah.
Just fucking refresh.
They're like, just refresh button when the comp doesn't work.
Correct.
Yeah.
It was ruthless. They had a great structure in terms of their recruitment with Marina Granovskaya, etc. But a lot of their business was still about loaning their young players out and then selling them on and making a profit. That was still their business model, which is fine. Some clubs have that sort of model, and that's fine. Graham Potter has always been a manager who can build a project.
Yeah.
Right. And under Abramovich, Chelsea was never a project. Chelsea was always a short-term fling. It was never a long-term thing. So under Abramovich, Potter would have definitely never made sense. When Todd Bowley came in, there was a way of thinking. There was a thought that maybe he's going to be different. Maybe he's going to be a little more structured, or maybe he'll surround himself with people who will tell him to be a little more structured. And we'll see a new look Chelsea. We'll see a Chelsea that is investing in the youth players. We'll see a Chelsea that is building a project. We'll see a Chelsea that is looking to dominate the Premier League and Europe over the next 5 seasons, next 10 seasons, under Graham Potter, who can build that squad. Except, very quickly, Todd Bowley's gone full Todd Bowley, and you never go full Todd Bowley because he's bought every player that he could possibly get, and that just does not make sense.
I've never really been a big fan of Potter at Chelsea. It never clicked for me as a cultural fit, as an ideological fit. It's never worked, and I think we're just seeing the repercussions of that fit. I think you needed, a Potter at an Arsenal, if by mistake Arteta got sacked and the system failed, I think it would have been a great fit.
Absolutely,
that would have been a very exciting one for me.
Yeah.
Maybe another version of Aston Villa, maybe if Emery didn't work out, but I just don't think clubs like City, Chelsea, are the sort of Everton are the sort of places that Potter should touch.
Yeah, Potter needs a club that is exceptionally well run.
Yeah, he needs clubs whose ethos is the systems that they build.
Yeah,
right.
Basically, no club in England.
Not really. That's a little unfair. I think Southampton's
badly run. The only clubs that are run well are Brighton, Brentford.
Brighton because of Potter. I think at some level.
No, Brighton because of Tony Bloom.
But also there is. I think we've all been quick to dismiss the.
No,
Brighton's
Potter obviously added
well. Exactly.
Potter's obviously added a lot to the football side of things, but he's also been able to flourish in that role as Brighton head coach when he was Brighton head coach because there was a robust structure behind it.
I think that's what I'm going to say. I think if he goes to a team like Southampton, which have historically had some relevance in recruitment, etc., I think he can build that system for them and bring back their heydays.
Right.
But I think this is a bad fit, and I think I don't think it's too far away. He might get sacked, and I hope he does because I just want him to be at a better club. I want him to do well football wise. Yeah. In fact, I want to see him in Europe maybe just to see what kind of football he plays with teams in Spain, what kind of teams in Germany. I think he'll be an exciting fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Germany or Spain. I think that's what
I think to end this episode, I have the best line. I feel like the real magic that Potter is weaving is the fact that he's still Chelsea manager.
Yeah.
Woohoo! There we go. We've had the Harry Potter reference in. So
Athletic, we have a writer blooming here in India.
Come on. I'm just waiting to be a writer for the Athletic. Let's go. On that note, it is time to end this episode. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to this episode of The Corner Flag. If you'd like to get in touch with us and tell us what you thought, you can find us on social media. You can find Mukesh on Instagram at
Mukesh Manjunath.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Amogh.
And that's because his name is Mukesh Fashion. Late Mukesh Fashions. What?
No,
what is the tongue twister? What is the twister tongue?
Exactly what you've been saying all along. You can also follow The Corner Flag on Instagram and Twitter at @CornerFlagPod. Do visit our website, thecornerflag.in. Support us by buying us a coffee on buyusacoffee.com/thecornerflag. If you can't do that, please do subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. And do not forget to give us a 5-star review. That really, really helps us climb the podcast charts and open ourselves up to newer listeners. So we'd be really, really, really happy if you do that. Shout out to Kaizad Garda, who composed our fantastic theme tune. And until next week, it is goodbye from us. So say bye, Mukesh.
Bye, guys.
And it's bye from me.